Everyone. Okay, sorry this is taking a couple minutes to get organized here on our end. We're just sort of waiting for people to show up and say hi, and I'm excited to be hosting this with my friend Beth. So Beth and I are here in California. Most of you probably know I'm actually from Canada. I'm Canadian. I'll just say a little bit about me, and then I can talk about my friend Beth, and then we're just going to get started. So I'm originally from Vancouver Island. I'm from Victoria, BC, and my husband and I moved down here about, I want to say 6 years ago. For him for work, and we've been here. We went back to Victoria for a year, and then we came back here for hockey, of all things. But really it was to bring our family back together. Our son is at a hockey academy in Lake Tahoe, which has just been a ton of fun. And so, yeah, that we're here. I am an integrative nutrition holistic health coach. I am the owner and founder of Healthy Wife, Happy Life. And I think most of you, or all of you, are probably in my Healthy Wife, Happy Life group, because you have to be to get the link to this. So, so yeah, thanks for being here. I'm super excited to be doing this workshop with you guys, with my good friend Beth. Beth and I have kind of been on a journey together. You know, in other aspects of health and wellness in our life and for our kids, and was really how we met. We've, you know, done some great things together that I'm so excited to call her my friend. Beth is with Young Living. She is just an incredible woman, incredible mama. She's introduced me to like this whole, you know, other side of oils. I've been using oils for 15 years, and I have to tell you guys, it's so funny. I swore I would never, ever, under any circumstances, join Young Living or doTERRA. So sort of eating my words. But, you know, Sweden in the middle. It was like, I'm just going to be neutral here because I think both companies have great oils. That's just my thing. And I love oils, and I've always said I'm not an oil snob. I know some are much better quality. It's important to have really good quality. But I joined because I love Beth and I trust her, and she's amazing. And honestly, if you guys might remember, I tore my rotator cuff about a month ago, and I just called her up and I was like, I need something. I'm in a lot of pain and I really need something. So what have you got? What can you help me out with? And she was amazing. She put together some goodies for me, and my rotator cuff was better in 4 days. So, you know, I don't know if you guys know, rotator cuffs should take about 6 months to heal, and 50% of people that tear them require surgery. So I was a little bit blown away. Now, at the same time, I was, you know, with me, if I have an injury like that, I throw everything at it. So the oils were one part of it. Of course, nutrition is super important, but that was another thing that I was, you know, obviously targeting with. But I just sort of fell in love with them because of the results they were giving for myself and my family. And Beth was actually hosting an Elderberry Syrup workshop, and I couldn't go because I was in Lake Tahoe for my son for hockey. And I was so like, I have to go to this. I was literally looking up elderberries to order off Amazon the week before to make my own. So I asked her if she could host one for me. And she did, and that was it. I just got all set up, and I'm super excited. So I just wanted to be able to share this with everyone. I had a few girlfriends in the house, but a lot of people couldn't make it, and people kept asking me to host another one. And I just thought, let's do this here. Let's do a Zoom one so we can share it with everybody, no matter where you are located, because even in the Bay Area where we are in California, I mean, there's 7 million people, and a lot of my friends are 45 minutes away. And if you do something on a Thursday night, it could take them an hour and a half or 2 hours to get here with traffic. So we thought this will be fun. Let's try this. Everybody can get the recipes, learn all about elderberry syrup, how to make it, why it's great, and how you do it. So we're going to get going. So I want to talk a little bit more about Beth. Beth, and maybe you can help me out because I don't even know the answers to some of these things, but I know you've been with Young Living, is it 5 years or 7 years?
I'm a little over 5 years.
little over 5 years. She's a mama of 3 beautiful, beautiful babies. She's had some of her own health challenges, which she can share with you if she would like to. She's come a long way, and oils have been a big part of that for her. So I love her story, and thank you so much for doing this and introducing me to this, because honestly, I've used oils for 15 years, but these ones, okay, I have to tell you guys, when Beth said, you'll notice a difference, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that over the years from people, and I was just like, whatever, I'm sure, whatever. I honestly thought that. I totally love her, but that was the thought in my head, because I've used so many oils, really high quality oils. They've never touched my migraines. They've never, you know, really helped that much, but I was able to get rid of a migraine in one day with the oils, which I couldn't believe. That's never in my life happened. I've had migraines since I was about 8 years old. So that was a little shocking, the rotator cuff thing. So there's been kind of a trail of things happening. And then literally my daughter was homesick on Monday because she's been refusing to take the gummy bears I made her. So I got creative and made marshmallows. So those are working. But my husband on Sunday woke up and sounded really congested. So I was chasing him with elderberry syrup, literally around the house, made him take it. The next morning, and then Lacey said she would take it because Daddy was sick and she didn't want to get sick. So she was taking the gummy bears that day, but then the next day she woke up with a really wicked sore throat. And so then she was taking a ton of them, every couple hours. She stayed home. The next day, Tuesday, she looked 100% better. So I'm so blown away when I see how these things are working. So I love it. I love it. And I love getting to use them in things like elderberry syrup, all these other areas of my life. So Beth, I'd like to just, if you wanted to share your story, and then we'll get going.
Yeah, I'll just take 1 minute and just let you guys know I was thrown into this world because of Lyme disease. I was diagnosed about 15 years ago, and after 5 years of heavy-duty antibiotics, I asked the question of whether or not I was sick because of medication or because of the disease. So we started heading a totally different route. And one of the reasons that Candace and I have become such good friends and enjoy hanging out so much together is because we, through both of our journeys, have become so passionate about all the health things. So we get super excited about how oils are working. And yes, that has been that was really my foot in the door for really understanding being an empowered mom and woman, basically, and taking control of my health. But man, I just get excited when it comes to homeopathics that work and herbs that work, and love talking about nutrition. Candace and I both are very passionate about gut health. If you guys can imagine, after 5 years on antibiotics, my stomach was destroyed. So that has been a long journey back. So all the wonderful things she said about me, I think all those things about her. And we have had a ton of fun just partnering together on encouraging people to make better health choices and basically just keep moving forward in this, no matter what it looks like, just moving forward. I always tell my team, which is just an incredible tribe of people who are passionate about all things health. I tell them all the time, it's just one thing a day. And those little things add up and they become a really big impact on your family and your home. So today it's elderberry, and I'm super excited to talk about it with Candace. So yeah, thank you for letting me be here. It really is an honor. So
awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to get going. If you guys want to take notes, if you want to share, or sorry, not screen share, screenshot images, that's okay if it helps you for recipes, things like that as we get through it. But I just wanted to let you guys know we're going to have that at the end and show you how to get it all going. So let's talk a little bit about elderberry, why it's so amazing. If you're in my Healthy Wife, Happy Life group, you may have heard some of this stuff before. I've been talking about elderberry quite a bit in the last week. But it really is an incredible medicinal plant. It is obviously a berry. It's been used for decades as natural flu and cold remedy, but it's also been used to treat things like toothaches and wounds, burns, fever, about 70 other ailments. I was speaking with a woman last week, and I actually have to go and look into this because I'm wondering if maybe she thought it was something different, but she said she was putting elderberry in her eyes for cataracts. Now, I'm not going to recommend doing that. I've never heard of that before. May have been a tincture. I would recommend more ingesting it, but I was just like, what? Never heard of that before, but 70 other ailments, so who knows, somebody told her to do it and she had some improvement from it. It is anti-inflammatory, of course. There's a ton of really potent restorative properties in elderberry. So it is an incredible thing to have into, in your diet, in your lifestyle this time of year especially. It is super rich in antioxidants, vitamins A, C, and it's also got some of the really important B vitamins in there. Anthocyanins are a specific antioxidant in elderberries that have super important functions for strengthening your immune system and helping your body to fight off any sort of sicknesses or illnesses that you're being exposed to. They're also what make elderberries that really dark purple color. Studies have shown the antioxidant compounds in elderberries can actually increase the number of your circulating white blood cells, which of course is the main cell involved in your immune defense system. So super important, again, if you're getting sick, if you're feeling to make sure that you're getting your elderberry in. They also contain antiviral properties that can help the immune system fight off viruses. So these properties are, thanks to compounds known as bioflavonoids. If you guys haven't heard of those, they are able to deactivate a virus. So they literally go and search in the body and they're like scavenge and find the virus, and they can deactivate it and prevent it from invading your cells, which is really cool because if they can't get into the cell, then they can't make you sick. The virus will die. So super cool. Elderberry is like this amazing superpower food, right? Now, I talked a little bit about vitamin C. They are high in vitamin C, which again is another antioxidant. It plays an important role in the immune strengthening powers of elderberry syrup or elderberry. Vitamin C, of course, we all know is essential for building a proper functioning immune system. A lot of us, years ago, before I knew about elderberry syrup, vitamin C was like the thing you took if you ever were getting sick, and elderberry syrup is super high in it, which is amazing. Elderberry also has a ton of scientific research behind it. Not a lot of plant-based foods or, superfoods have as much research as elderberry in the healing properties, but there is a lot for elderberry, which of course I love because I geek out on the science kind of stuff. There are several controlled studies that have shown that individuals with a cold or flu that take elderberry syrup have significantly faster recovery times and getting over their symptoms compared to those that don't take it. Studies conducted on the effectiveness of elderberry during an influenza outbreak show that individuals who took elderberry syrup were feeling significantly better and were even recovered in about a third of the time that it took people that did not take the elderberry syrup to recover. So super cool there. I always, anybody I know that's sick, get the elderberry syrup and you will be better faster. And you should see me. I do chase my family around the house with it. They all think I'm crazy. But I do. So elderberry syrup also, of course, has anti-inflammatory properties, which does play a role in alleviating some of the symptoms associated with having the cold or flu, such as sneezing, runny nose, and congested sinuses. So again, super good for getting over those sicknesses. Now, here's a great thing about elderberry syrup that a lot of people don't really talk about, and it's super good for gut health. And of course, about 80% of your immune system is in your gut. So you want to have foods that are high in fiber. So elderberries are also super rich in fiber, right? They're great for that. And non-soluble fibers are one of our gut health residential bacteria, favorite food. It's amazing. So when we feed our body, we feed our gut health, that fiber, then your residential bacteria gets to gobble it all up, and it's going to populate, and it's going to really fill up your gut with these good guys, the healthy residential gut bacteria that you want to have in an abundance. And when you have more of those, there's actually less room for the bad guys. And so those, or nasty pathogens that can sort of get in and take over. So we want to have lots of really healthy, happy, good residential gut bacteria. One of the other things that's really cool to know is when we're looking at gut bacteria, we know that the more healthy, happy residential gut bacteria you have, the bad guys, they'll always be there. Some of them are meant to be there, but they'll behave better. It's like, you've got all these guys on the playground, and you got kind of the bad kids, and you got all the good guys. And when you've got a lot of good guys, the bad guys kind of don't misbehave so much. So it's super good for getting fiber in there. And over the long run, that is also going to help support your healthy gut bacteria and your immune system. And that's where it can really work as a preventative, taking it on a daily basis. So I'm going to let Beth take it from here. She's going to talk about wolfberries, which are super yummy, super amazing. So go for it, girl.
Okay. So sorry, I was readjusting my chair. Okay. So the Ningxia wolfberry. When did this happen?
What happened?
I don't know. Did it stop sharing?
Oh, it's still sharing. Did you? But you can't see it.
This is what it did yesterday.
Is that what happened yesterday? Okay. Can everybody else see it, or is it just Beth? What happened? Hang on. I'm going to stop the share, and then I'll start it again.
Okay.
And you can.
I'm back to a regular screen.
I know.
So try and share one more time, and then we'll hopefully get it. Yeah, it's like this little glitch or something. I have no idea what's going on.
I know. Okay. Tell me if that's.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so, all right, the wolfberry is something that is kind of magical, and like many things in health, I'm really quite skeptical about them, and I hear all these amazing stories, and so it takes me quite a while to research and kind of try them out for our family. The Ningxia wolfberry was one of those things. So I really was pretty skeptical that it could do such amazing things for someone, but then I started reading about it. The information on the screen is some of the highlights about the wolfberry, but some of my favorites are that it is one of the richest known sources for vitamin B1, which is thiamine, and contains the highest ORAC value of all the wolfberries, coming in at 303. I don't even know how you read that. So when I read that, here's the reason I was so excited to put wolfberry into, number one, our family's repertoire in general, but then also because of the damage from free radicals these days, which is basically everything from EMF to toxins to chemical pesticides, GMO foods. You have this running list of things that our bodies and our kids' bodies are impacted by. This ORAC score, this huge amount of antioxidants, is going to go ahead and get rid of all of those free radicals and usher them out of your body, which is a really big deal. So when we have all these free radicals, it causes cancer, it causes autoimmune disease, it causes inflammation, it causes all of these issues in our bodies that are skyrocketing, right? This graph that we see of health issues that just keeps on climbing and climbing and climbing because of numerous sources, right? If you're on this call, I'm guessing you are aware of all the things that are impacting our families right now. So having antioxidant rich foods is a serious matter basically for our family, and it's something we're very intentional about. So that is why when we started using things with wolfberry, we actually did see some really amazing health changes, particularly when our kids were sick. Interestingly enough, we do use it as a preventative, but also when our kids were sick, we saw one of my favorite stories is when we use our wolfberry drink, we see their eyes go from glassy to bright again. It's really, really amazing. So tons of information about wolfberry, but that is why I was excited to get it into the syrup. And the second really practical mom thing is my daughter, who would not touch elderberry syrup no matter how much honey I put in it, will now drink it because the wolfberry has changed the flavor, so it's not quite as bitter. So that's been super helpful. You can go on the next one. Can I do it? No, you do it.
Love it. Yeah, you go.
Okay. So why are essential oils such an impact in the syrup? Here are my 3 fun facts about essential oils, which is why I love putting them in syrup. There's, again, some fun things on the screen, but my 3 favorite things are they get through the blood-brain barrier. Sounds scary, but it's a really good thing. We need things circulating in our brain that are benefiting our health and helping our neurological system and our nervous system. The second thing is they actually break through biofilm. If you don't know about biofilm is basically a sticky residue that is on the outside of cells, and it is going to make it so if you have a virus, bacteria, a virus, a pathogen, or anything that's hiding in your cells, for me, it was Lyme a lot of the time, right? It can't get to that bacteria or virus because this biofilm, this awful substance, is impossible to get through. So there are medications to get through biofilm, but they destroy your body because they have to work so hard to get through this, and then they destroy the cell. So there are oils that actually get through biofilm and can impact the cell without harming the body. And then the third reason I absolutely love putting oils in everything is that it can get inside a cell and not harm the cell. Again, that's something only nature can do. So essential oils and elderberry, they're not medicine, thank God, because we want things that our body was meant to work with and can use and help our bodies function the way that it's supposed to, right? That is our goal. We want our bodies to function the way that they're supposed to. So that is why I put essential oils in this syrup with the wolfberry and the elderberry. Again, a super practical little part of it too for me was if I can get all of the stuff that I need to put in my kids in one drink, I'm gonna do it. Like that's, you know, we do take a lot of stuff throughout the day, but this was one thing where I was like, if I can get oils, wolfberry and elderberry in one drink, and then either have them drink it or make it into gummies, like that makes an impact on my life. Like that's easier for my 3 kids to take. So that is why this recipe has oils in it. The 3 that are in it, I just want to touch on really quick. Lemon, orange, and copaiba are all very gentle oils. The amount in the entire batch is very, very small. Because a little bit of oil goes a long way. But getting these into the body and into the bloodstream, Candace and I were just talking about healthy blood yesterday because we talk about stuff like that. And just, you know, oils are getting into the bloodstream because they're so tiny and they're helping our body function the way that they're supposed to. So that is why I love this recipe that has oils in it.
Yeah, thank you. So we're just going into the recipes now. So this is the fun part. How to make it.
Yeah.
This is so easy, you guys. So I'm going to be honest, I don't have an Instapot. I don't have one. I know, right? I know. Beth is like, what? I'm like, no, I'm afraid of them. This is the Instapot recipe. So if you do have an Instapot, this is, you know, how you're going to do it. I am also going to be sharing in Healthy Wife, Happy Life this same recipe. I'll be sharing the gummy recipe in there as well, and I'll be sharing the marshmallow recipe, which are all going to be, I'll be sharing those here with you next. Beth has a video to share with you guys, just a real short one on sort of the process of making this with your Instapot. If you don't have an Instapot, I will tell you, you can actually make it in a pot on your stove, which is what I did, or you can do it in a crock pot. It doesn't take all that long actually to put the elderberries in a, like I have a big stainless steel pot on the stove and boil them up. Although now that I know this recipe and all the other amazing things that she's been doing with her Instapot, I may have to get one soon. Let's say, may have to cave. Anyway, so Beth, did you want to share your video?
Yeah, so let me
Stop the sharing.
I think I can actually just
that.
take it over.
You guys have all seen it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take it over. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, so this is as funny as this is. I have people that on a regular basis, just with recipes, just seeing really quickly how it works is super helpful. So I just took really short videos. I'm going to show them to you guys. They are not life-changing, but they will show you the step-by-step and just really, truly how easy this is. So I put in the elderberries. This is me putting in the wolfberries. That's what they look like. And then you put in the water. I know you guys, isn't this silly? But this really helps. Seeing this helps me. So, yeah, so you're just going to add in the water. This is the insert from the Instant Pot. So it looks about like that. This is a double batch. So I made a double batch of this. So this was, I think, 16 cups of water. So it was a relatively large batch, but I figure if I can make a lot and either give it away or make it into gummies, that's super helpful. I hand this stuff out like hotcakes. Like, my friends are like, can I pay you $55 for a bottle? Not really, but sort of, because they want it and they know it's good quality. So, and it's crazy to me, you guys, in the store, 2 ounces costs like $18. It's just crazy to me. And most of them have sugar. Watch out for that one. Okay, so this is me turning on the Instant Pot. You just press the manual button and then you take it all the way down to 10 minutes. 7 to 10 minutes, somewhere in there. You literally watch all the numbers go down. Sorry, guys. Fun. And you hear my family talking back, so that is also an added bonus. So you're just going to turn it down anywhere from 7 to 10. I think I was trying to get this done a little bit faster. And then here's the part that has been super helpful for people to see what I do after it's done. So you release the pressure, right? It's ready to go. So this is how I strain the berries. I just take a strainer and I get out as much of the berries as I can. Just like that. And I put it in a big, that's a 4-cup Pyrex dish. And then when I'm done with most of the berries, what I do is I take a strainer, I put it on top of my blender and I pour the rest in to catch the rest of them. Does that make sense? So strainer on the top of my blender or a bowl, strain the rest. And then I pour it back into the pot because you have to simmer it down. That's the next step. It's all in the directions, so it's nice to see. One of the things that you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure you know what the level is before you start boiling. Okay, so you want to make sure you know what that is because you're going to half it. So if you start boiling and then a half an hour you come in, you're like, oh shoot, I have no idea where it was in the pot. That is just, I mean, it's not going to make a huge difference, but it's nice to know. I put it on the saute function. If you're using the Instant Pot, it's on the saute function. And what that does is it just boils it the whole time for you. And then you can turn that up to, it took probably, I want to say about 45 minutes to an hour to half in size. That will depend on the weather and the humidity and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to put it in the Instant Pot. You're going to put it on the high pressure. You're going to take it off. You're going to strain out the berries. You're going to put the liquid back in, and then you're going to half the amount. Again, like Candace said, you can do all of this in a regular pot too. So that's what it's going to look like simmering. As you can see, the total, liquid is decreasing. You don't want to put the top on, probably something that most people would naturally think, but if you put the top back on, the liquid is not going to minimize, right? So you need the top off so the steam can evaporate. I took another video of it for you. Apparently, yeah, it's just getting lower. And this was a double batch, and that's how much I got. So I wanted to show you guys the actual amount that I got from that. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you guys for the little how-to section.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I know I've seen all your fun recipes with the Instant Pot and making soap with it was super cool. So I'm like, okay, yeah. That's it. It's going on the Christmas list. That's definitely happening. So I'm just going to share with you guys, again, we'll get back to where the recipes were, because I want to share with you how to make the gummies, which are super easy. Mm-hmm. Eventually. Okay, is that working? Can you see it?
We can.
Okay, good. Awesome. So there's your elderberry syrup recipe. So you guys can see like that just kind of went over everything. You make the elderberry syrup in the pot. Once it's all done and it's cooled, then you're going to add the honey to it at the end. I think she said that, but I can't remember. You don't want it to be like boiling
Thank
hot
you.
when you add
Yeah.
the honey. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you want it
measure.
warm,
Yeah.
and then you can add the honey and the oils, which is perfect.
Exactly.
You don't want those.
Yeah, not cold.
Mhm.
Want it warm so that it all mixes together. And then once it's all done and you're going to pour it into your jars, or your big mason jar, whichever it is, if you do the big batch, then we've got the essential oils here that you then add at the end. Give it a little shake. If you're going to be making where's my thing? There it is. The gummies, here's my gummies. They look all oily. Because I don't have like spray on. I don't have a spray on. I don't use Pam or non-cook spray, whatever that stuff is called. I don't use it. So what I had to do with our gummy tray, I did a first batch, and I'll tell you, I didn't grease the gummy trays. And so they were like mutilated, these poor gummy bears, when I took them out and then gave them to my 16-year-old. He didn't know what they were. They were supposed to be gummy bears. A lot were missing heads, missing arms. It was a bit of a mess. So I redid them, and I literally poured oil in, like olive oil, in the pan, and then went over it with a paper towel to kind of get as much oil out as I could. These aren't actually really oily gummy bears. It just looks like that in the picture.
Well, and I will also add, I've actually never had to oil them. So it might just depend on, again, sometimes things just depend on temperature or different things. But I just made elderberry gummies for an event I did. And then also I wanted them for the kids for the next month. And we used some for a friend. So it was like this massive, we had silicone molds all exploding.
Everywhere.
And they actually all came out totally fine. So
there you go.
So hopefully you won't have to oil them, because that would be an extra step.
Yeah. I ended up with the second batch, and they all came out really easy. And maybe it's because the gummies are they're your regular size gummy bears, and they're a bit small, and so it was like a little bit harder to get them out. I don't know. I did make gummies in another silicone tray that I have that's bigger, and they came out really easy. So could be that. We will share some links for you guys for where to get the silicone molds I'll share links in the blog post that I'll be sharing in the group today for where to get everything. But this one, it's just off Amazon. I just looked for gummy bear molds off Amazon. That was it. Super easy to find. I know Beth has some that she really likes, but this is all you do. You just take your wolfberry syrup and you're going to mix it with the gelatin. So all the ingredients are there. You want to warm the syrup a little bit, and then you're going to sprinkle some of the gelatin over it. You're going to whisk it, and then you're going to make sure that it's all well blended together. Remove it from the heat, and then the silicone trays come with little like eyedroppers, basically. So you're going to fill that up. You're going to fill out each tray with your dropper in the mold, and then you're going to put them in the fridge and let them set for 20 to 30 minutes. I also recommend, this is just live and learn. This tray is, it's about this big. I don't know if you guys can see me, but it's super floppy because it's silicone. And so, of course, I filled it up, and then I tried to lift it up, and it's like now it's spilling everywhere because it's not set. So put it on a cookie sheet or something first. Just a little tip. You guys all might have experience with silicone trays. Mom for 25 years here, first time. So took me a while.
Can I share 2 other super push the easy button things that I learned? So this week, what I did was I had made the elderberry syrup. I'd strained it and everything. I'd simmered it down. The kids were coming home. Everybody was helping. I had a friend coming over to help with the elderberry syrup gummies. So we did put everything on trays, on cookie sheets, which is I learned that the hard way too. You'd think we would know.
Nobody tells you.
Yeah, nobody tells you. You need a cookie sheet under the silicone tray. But 2 things that I did was this is actually really kind of funny. So I kept everything in the Instant Pot. I put it on warm, and then I sprinkled in the gelatin. And we were, again, making a massive amount of gummies. So we whisked it all together, made sure it was all mixed. And then the little droppers were taking so long I went and got my turkey baster, and it went super fast. So I did 3 full trays of oils while my friend filled up 2 of the ones that you have.
Right.
So just like, if you're like, okay, I need to get a lot done, it worked super well. Last thing I did is the silicone molds are hard to clean. And when we're making this stuff, we want to make it easy. Like, that's my whole thing, is like, how can we make health easy, right? Sometimes you can't, but whenever possible, you want to. So I then take all of the molds and everything, I stick it in the sink, and then I fill up my Instant Pot with water, and I put it on saute, which makes it boil. And then you can just put on gloves and wash everything, and all of the gelatin and everything just comes sliding off. Like, I had everything done in probably less than like 3 or 4 minutes. It was really just rinsing, washing. It was amazing. So turkey baster, boiling water in the Instant Pot.
That is such a good tip, because honestly, I filled up 2 of these trays, and they're quite big, and it took forever with those little eyedroppers. So turkey baster, good tip, and you're making me want the Instant Pot more. Okay. Just like the gummy bears are super easy to make, it's basically the same recipe. You just are going to take your syrup that you've already made. You're going to pretty much split it in half. You're going to put half in your mix master or your mixer, whatever you're going to use to mix it. And then you're going to put half in a pot, and you're going to heat the half up that's in the pot to boiling. You want like a really good rolling boil. If you have sort of a kitchen thermometer or a candy thermometer, you want to get it to 240 degrees. I don't have one, so you don't have to go and get one. Like, again, push the easy button. You just let it boil like a good rolling boil for about 5 minutes, continuing to stir it while it's boiling. That's what you're going to do with part that is in the pot. What you're going to do with what you've put the other half in your mix master is, again, you're just going to take that gelatin. It doesn't even have to be your elderberry syrup doesn't have to be hot. You're just going to put it into the bowl, and you're going to sprinkle the gelatin on. You're going to put your mix master down. You're going to turn it on low just for like a minute, just to mix it up, and then you're going to turn it off, and you're going to leave it while you're boiling the rest of the elderberry syrup that's in the pot. Once that is done, after about 5 minutes, you're going to turn your mix master on to medium, and sort of a medium. I think I had it on 4 or 5, something like that, which actually seems really fast to me, but it's somewhere in the middle. And then you're going to slowly pour in that really hot elderberry syrup. So just be really careful as you do it. You're going to pour that in there, and then once it's all poured in, you're actually going to turn it on high. It'll take about 10 to 15 minutes. This pitcher is, I had it mixed probably a little bit too much. It's a little bit thicker than what you want it to be, because then when you go to pour it into your baking dish, it's going to be like super stiff. So keep an eye on it, 10 to 15 minutes on high. As you want it to be like a marshmallow cream, so that you can actually pour it still. You don't want it so stiff that it's making like super stiff peaks, just soft peaks. Once that's done, what I did, I made another batch last night. When you first pour it in, it's really dark, right? It's the color of elderberry syrup, but it comes out really light like this. I had a lot of fun last night, and I've been experimenting with recipes for the marshmallows. You can do this too. I took some cacao nibs. Once it had been blending for a little while, I wanted it to cool because I didn't want them to just kind of totally melt, but I put them in with the marshmallows towards the end, as it was getting close to the end, and I took a drop of the orange essential oil, and I put a drop of that in there. And these look really funny, because basically I made 2 batches last night, because the first one I over whipped and put it in the pan, and it was like a mess. And then I did another batch that was just right and poured it on top, so they all blend together. But these are them, and then I dusted them with cacao powder. And of course, cacao nibs and cacao powder are super high in antioxidants again, so we're just like throwing everything in there, right? I know a lot of people are worried about cacao nibs being maybe too bitter for their children. I'm going to tell you, like, I'm a little embarrassed. I probably ate 6 of these between last night and this morning. They are like, it looks really funny, but they're just like amazing
marshmallows. It's like the best thing I've ever tasted in my life. And I thought the best thing ever a couple of weeks ago, I had like these dehydrated roasted garlic things, and they were good too, but this is like your sweet thing. But it's like a chocolate orange. Honestly, it's like chocolate orange. They're so amazing. They're so delicious, super easy to make. It's the same ingredients that you would do the gummies with. You're just literally mixing it until you get all fluffy. You're going to line your pan with parchment paper. Makes it super easy to clean, super easy. The marshmallows just like, you just cut them and they just pull right out. You could line the pan with coconut oil, but honestly, parchment paper is probably a little bit easier. And that's it. So
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So are you using the elderberry syrup with honey already added, or are you not adding the honey for the marshmallows?
No, it's already added. So what you're putting in the pot and in the mixer is your already completely done elderberry syrup. Okay. Like I have like 5 jars of elderberry syrup in my fridge right now from making it. And I took out 2 jars last night because I was playing with the marshmallow recipes, and I was just going to do 1 jar, and then I basically messed it up because I overblended it. So I had to do another one to try to fix my mess.
Okay.
So yeah, I just use what I've already made, the complete elderberry syrup recipe that we have in here, and you literally just split it in half, boil half of it, and the other half goes in the pot with the gelatin, and then you just blend it. That's it. Like, who knew making marshmallows was so easy? So easy. Like the easiest thing I've ever made. My kids are gonna love me because they're gonna have marshmallows all the time now. Because I hardly ever bake anymore, but that's easy. So yeah, so if anybody is interested, I guess, in, how do you get started? How do you get a basic starter kit to make your own elderberry syrup and the recipe that we've shared here today? We've sort of put this elderberry syrup kit together for you. So I guess, Beth, why don't I let you talk about this, because you're more of an expert in this part than I am. I'm just learning.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, when we realized that you guys were coming specifically to hear about the elderberry syrup, right, we wanted to figure out how to get you the ingredients that you would want to make it. I would love to do a cost breakdown at some point of what you're getting, like how many batches you can make when you're buying your own bag of elderberries, bag of wolfberries, and oils, because I think it would be insane, the difference between what you're paying for a 2-ounce bottle, versus like this half gallon that you just made. So, yeah, so basically we obviously, Candace and I are super excited about Young Living oils. I was laughing listening to her because I was the same way. I'm like, yeah, I don't join those things. But the tribe and the community that I found in the middle of it has been so life-changing that I am unabashed about trying to help people dive in, because I think it's so important to surround yourself with people, especially these days, who are like-minded in terms of health and wellness and being able to support you. So the basic starter kit is basically like a wholesale membership. It's like a Costco membership, basically. So you're paying for a membership where you're going to get discounted from then on. So I always say it's like getting your Costco card. You can walk into the store and buy whatever you want. So the basic starter kit is $35. They actually just changed it so it's cheaper and it includes more. I don't know why they did that, but I like it. So it's $35. You get, I did this typo. It's actually Stress Away, which is, Candace, I think, has asked me if it comes by the gallon. But that is just a fun oil that they have come in the starter kit. A Thieves hand sanitizer, a Thieves hand purifier, and then you get the discount. So you get a couple of fun goodies with it that I think are almost the equivalent of $35. Then you get the organic dried wolfberries, which are also from Young Living. They are sourced from China, which is funny because normally when something is from China, I'm like, no thanks. But the Ningxia wolfberry, the Ningxia red wolfberry, is actually from China. That's where you want it to be sourced from, the one with the super high ORAC value. And then Copaiba lemon and orange are ones that you can get on your own. Candace and I had a great discussion yesterday about putting oils in food and liquids and stuff like that. And we have found that small amounts with our kids have made a huge difference when we get them in shakes and smoothies and stuff like that. Like I was telling her, we're not putting capsules of oregano. Obviously, we're not giving them capsules of oregano. But yeah, so obviously we already talked about why we were so excited about putting all this stuff together. So that is a custom elderberry kit that we kind of put our heads together and put together for you guys. I think it's terrible, Candace. I told her I would add it up and I didn't. It's a little over $100, I think, for all of it. Yeah, but then you would be able to make numerous batches of elderberry syrup. And then also the little discovering joy that you see on the top of it, that is our, basically our tribe, our health and wellness tribe. And the amount of resources that you get for, I love Candace's story because she says, you know, I know oils, I've used them for 15 years, but she has had a ton of fun learning with all the recipes and the support and all the stuff that we throw out there, because it is a shame, in my opinion, if people are buying health tools and then they're putting them on their shelves because they don't know how to use them. So our goal is to make health simple and to provide the support that you need. So I think that was a lot more information than you wanted about the kit that we put together, but there you go.
There you go. So if you guys do want to order today to get started, this is just the website that you go to, discoveryjoyteam.com/Candace Chalky. That, and again, you just get the basic kit, and then you go ahead and choose the wolfberry and the lemon and the orange and the copaiba to just add to it. Of course, you can add whatever you want. The holiday products that are available right now, I will be doing probably the majority of my Christmas shopping for my family. I'm actually really excited to get stuff for my niece and nephew because they were visiting in the summer. My poor little nephew is not sleeping at night, and I taught them some magic potions with essential oils to put on their pillow and to put on their hands and breathe in and to help them to sleep. And he actually slept amazing when he was here. So I followed up with my sister. This is way before I was using Young Living oils, and just asked her if she had got some oils for him, and she hadn't done anything. So I want to be able to send something like that for them for the holidays. So this is just how you guys can do that and get started. And I think that's it. So I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Erin raised her hand. It sounds like she has a question. You didn't add Nisha. It's actually the wolfberry. Erin, if that was your question. So the Ningxia red wolfberry is actually the dried wolfberry, is the part of the recipe that we put in. Did it kick us out again?
No, I was turning that off because I see that there's stuff in the chat, and I just want to see if anybody, I just didn't want to miss it, and I couldn't check it there. Oh, so the snow that was earlier. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think there it is. Yeah, it's over on the side. So I don't know if anybody else has any other questions. Like I say, I have put together a blog post that basically covers everything we talked about today. Again, the link will be added into that. The recipes will all be in there. So if you didn't copy everything down, it's okay. You can still get them from the blog post. I don't have the marshmallow and the elderberry gummies up yet on my website, but I will be adding those today and linking the blog to it so you guys can get everything all at once, super easy. Yeah, oh, that's awesome, Erin, you're already a member. I love it. That's awesome. So you can use your oils and go ahead and make some elderberry syrup and enjoy it with that. So
yeah, and Erin, you're saying Ningxia. I mean, you don't have to use the wolfberries. You could also use your Ningxia red and have that just be a part of the syrup, of the elderberry syrup. That would be another option. So I really liked the flavor of doing the wolfberry, the freeze-dried wolfberries and the elderberries. I thought that was a phenomenal mix. And then, you know, I'm using the Ningxia for other stuff. But if you wanted to put the Ningxia in, that is definitely an option for sure. So you would just wait until everything is cooled when you're putting in the honey and the oils, and you would mix it in then. I have no idea how much. That would be something to experiment with, but that's definitely an option.
Play with that. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Any other questions about Carla, Charlotte? I'm curious where you guys are from. We know Carla's from Saskatchewan. I'm curious where Charlotte is from, and Erin, do I not know?